Welcome, dear fashion bosses. How are you doing today? So in today's class, we are learning how to make this beautiful, trendy, luxury, rich auntie vibe kind of BUBU. As you can see, the emphasis for this training is how to make this lapel, and then how to create the pleats around the shoulders. So it is a BUBU with pleated shoulders and lapel, right? So if you do not know how to do this yet, then this training is for you. This tutorial is for you. Do well to watch this video till the end. Give a like, give a share, give a thumbs up. If you are a first timer on this channel, we welcome you and we encourage you to please subscribe to this channel and do it to click on the notification bell so you get notified whenever we drop new video. And if you are a returning subscriber, we say welcome. So this BUBU is got a pocket, it's got a belt on the inside to tie around your waist or around your underbust to give you the fitting, as you can see it's been displayed. Okay, and then we are going straight into the tutorial. So these are the fabrics that we are going to use. This is a damask. Okay, so basically you need at least 4 yards of damask for this, but I'm going to be using 3 yards. That's what the clients brought. We are going to manage it, and then the gold fabric is the ashoke. So as always, I folded my BUBU in my fabric into 4, which is a practice here. If you are familiar with this channel, we fold our BUBU into 4, into 2, and then into 2 again. Okay, so the next thing we are going to be doing after folding our BUBU into 4 using our length, we are going to be measuring our neckline. So I am using a 3.5 inches for the width, a 3.5 inches for the width. Okay, and then for the depth for the back, we are using 1 inch for the back depth neckline, and then for the front depth neckline we are going to be using 8 inches. Okay, so I am connecting the back neckline right now. Okay, so after doing that, we are going to be measuring the front neckline, which is 8 inches. I mentioned earlier 8 inches. So we have 3.5 by 8. On that 8 inches, I went in by 2 inches. Okay, so and then I'm going to connect from the 3.5 inches width into the 8 inches depth, and then the 2 inches that we came in by, as you can see. All right, so after doing that, we are going to be measuring our sleeve. So you measure from your center back to any part of your arm where you want your sleeve to get to. For those who want it to get to the elbow, so we're going to impute the measurement we got from the center back into our elbow area. Okay, so because we are going to be having an ashoke, around the tip of the fabric, we are going to be minusing 2 or 3 inches from the length we got from our center back to our elbow. Okay, I minus 2 from it. Okay, so once we are done doing that, I am going to be measuring 5 more inches or 6 more inches to that. So that inches is going to stand as the pleats, the material we need for the pleats. Okay, so after your sleeve, I added 6 more inches to it, and then I came down by 15 inches. Okay, for our sleeve opening. All right, I came down by 15 inches for our sleeve opening, and then I neatly connected it. Okay, hope you understood what's happened there. All right, so after doing that, I am going to be measuring my hip points. Okay, which is 27 inches. I'm going to impute the line there. It's not really important, but it's good because it's going to give me a guide as to where to impute my hip. So I divided my hips into 4 and then I imputed. After that, I went ahead to add 8 inches to that point. Okay, so if my hip was 40, I divided by 4, I got 10, and then I added 8 inches, so giving me a total amount of 18 inches. So whatever I have there right now, you can add more than 8 inches. It depends on how big you want the bubble to be. Okay, so whatever I want, I have there. I measure the totality, which of course I said is 18 inches, and then I bring it down to the M, the length of the bubble. Okay, and then I'm going to connect a straight line from the I'm going to connect it with a straight line. Okay, so I also imputed what I have, you know, on the bust area, so I'm going to be connect with a straight line. Okay, I connect it with a straight line. So what I meant by the bust area is that point where our sleeve opening ended, which we had 15 inches. So I imputed it there, and then I connected with a straight line, as you can see me. Okay, so I am going to be, after doing that, creating a curve. Okay, I created a little curve. Okay, I'm going to be creating a little curve for the armhole. All right, so once we are done creating that little curve for the armhole, we are done drafting the bubble. We are going ahead right now to cut it out. Basically, the measurements you need to create this bubble is just your hip measurement. Sometimes you don't even have to use your hip measurement, you just go ahead to use the entire fabric depending on how big you want the bubble to be. But for modesty's sake, I used my hip divided by 4, and then I went ahead to add 8 inches. Sometimes I add 10 inches, 12 inches. It depends on how bogus the client wants it to be. Do you understand? There are no cast in stone. Okay, so I am done cutting the bubble, as you can see. So I'm going to use what I cut out now to add to the bottom like this, so that it gives me the exact length. Remember, I told you that I was using a 3-yard. A 3-yard was not enough, but that's what the clients brought, so I have to join. So I've gone ahead to cut the back neckline, and then I am ironing. You see that shoulder line? Please do well to iron it. We need that gray line, you know, that gets all line that you will have when you iron. You know, that line, you know, that will look like there's a blade that can cut. Okay, so it's very, very important. So I am notching the neckline, the center back, because I'm going to be opening it up this way, so we can continue with the front panel. So I open it up this way to pull out the back panel after cutting the back neckline. Okay, so open it up this way. I also notched so that I know where everything should fall on. Okay, notching is very important. So I pulled it out this way, as you can see. I notched the center back of the back neckline and the front neckline. Okay, so that I know in case it shakes or it tilts. Okay, so after doing that, I'm going to be cutting out 2 inches from the front panel. My ruler is 2 inches. Okay, so I just place it like this from the 8 inches we've already marked for the front neckline. Okay, and then I will mark 2 inches down to the bottom, or to the length of the bubble. We are going to be cutting this part out. Okay, because we are going to be replacing it with the golden ashoke fabric that I showed you guys earlier. Hope you understand. So you just place your 2 inches, you know, at where your 8 inches neckline ended. Besides, we've already marked out 2 inches, you know, on that 8 inches point. That was where we connected to the width of the neckline. So you just continue the 2 inches, you mark it out, and then you go ahead to cut it out, noting that you are going to be replacing it either with your ashoke, with doll face, with mikado, with any fabric that you would want to use, you know, as a complementary fabric for your BUBU. Okay, so I have cut it out. So this is the ashoke that we're going to be using to replace it. Okay, all right, so once we are done doing that, I will open it up, and then we'll go work on the shoulder. to create the pleats that we have or on the shoulder. Okay, so I open it up this way. That is the getter line, that's iron line, that shoulder line that we have to use our iron to create. So on that line, I'm going to use a chalk and a ruler to mark it out so you can see it properly, in case you are not seeing it the way it was. So I marked it out properly. So I measure 5 inches from my neckline. From these 5 inches, I'm going to measure 6 inches again, and then I will come in between the 5 and 6 inches and look for the midpoint, which is going to be 3 inches, and then I pick that midpoint, which is 3 inches. So the 5 inches line and the 6 inches lines are going to come together. Okay, and then I am going to create a pleat with it. It is that simple. As you can see, I am going to create a pleat with it. Okay, I will use my pin to pin it down, also use my iron to iron it down. Okay, you see that it's not difficult, it's very easy to do. So whatever I am doing to this shoulder, I will also do to the other shoulder. Okay, in case I didn't get to show you that. All right, so I use my pin to pin it down on that midpoint. Okay, after creating my pleat. Okay, so this is how to create your pleat on your BUBU. So on that shoulder line, I am going to come down by 4 inches. 4 inches, I'll mark it, and then come up by 4 inches from the same shoulder line, and then it will make a total of 8 inches, and then I am going to sew on that 8 inches line to hold down my pleats. Okay, I will sew on it. Okay, some people can take it way down, or some people can do just 2 inches. So this is the second shoulder. I am replicating what we did on the first shoulder. Okay, so if you do not want to use 4 inches down or 4 inches up, okay, for your pleats, you can use 2 inches or 3 inches, but I use 4 inches so that my pleat will be very obvious. Some people use as much as 10 inches into 16 inches, even down to the waist line. Okay, but I'm just going to use 4 inches, because if I hold it beyond the 4 inches or a total of 8 inches, it's going to eat into my BUBU, you know, the size of my BUBU. So I am done creating the pleats. Right about now, this is the front. I'm going to measure the totality of what we have, you know, on the front. I'll measure it into the center back neckline that I notched, and then times it by, I'm going to times it by 2. Okay, timesing it by 2. So after timesing by 2, I should be having about 120 something inches. So this is the ashoke that we are going to be using to create the lapel. Okay, but for now, this one that I am ironing, we are going to be using it for the sleeve. Okay, remember I told you that you can minus 2 or 3 inches away from your sleeve length, because you are going to be replacing it with ashoke. So I ironed my ashoke into 2. You know, ashoke comes in 6 inches or 6.5, and then I'm going to be marrying my sleeve into the ashoke, or sandwiching it into the ashoke, and then I will neatly sew it. Okay, this is the sleeve right now. I will sandwich the sleeve of the damask into the ashoke, and then I will sew down. So I have done for one sleeve. I am going to go to do for the other sleeve. Okay, if you've watched this video to this point, please do well to like, share, subscribe, give a thumbs up, ask your question. Okay, just say something to us. All right, so on the other sleeve, I am also going to sandwich the ashoke into it. So we have a WhatsApp tailoring group. If you're interested in joining the group to meet with other tailors, to share ideas, ask questions, please send me a message on WhatsApp. You can also follow our Facebook, join our Facebook page. Okay, it is easy sewing /DIY. You can also send a message for me to add you to the group. So this is the ashok we are going to be using for the front lapel. Is as long as the length that we measured, even longer. So it is 2. I'll put these 2 together so that we can get our required length, and then I will sew. Okay, we'll sew like this. All right, I'm pinning it down. We'll sew. So you put these 2 together. The ashok is already as long as the length that we need. Okay, so I will sew it. After sewing it, I am going to come down by between 14 and 16 inches to create your neck, the opening for your neck, okay, where your head is going to pass. All right, so I came down by 15 inches or 16 inches. I'll mark. So from that line, I am going to sew on the ashok straight down on the middle. So once I am done sewing on the middle, I am going to open it up like this to create the lapel. So I'll take one side of the ashok to the other side and bring the other side to the other side. Okay, so this is how it was when I sewed on the middle. I sewed on the middle after the 16 inches. I sewed on the middle straight down. So when I was done sewing, I bring it like this, and then you see, I bring it like this. I'm doing it again so you can see. I bring it like this. Okay, I arranged it, and then it just falls in place. Okay, it just falls in place. This is how to create a lapel. Already I have a video. I'm doing it again so you see. I bring it like this. Sure, you see, I did it severally. Already we have videos on the channel where we taught this explicitly. Okay, it's there. So after creating the lapel like this, I am going to iron it properly. All right, I'm going to iron it properly. As you can see, it's looking like the neck, the lapel, and everything. Okay, so I iron it down properly. We are also going to take this to sandwich it into the front part of the BUBU that is opened. All right, so we are done sewing the sleeve. Okay, right about now is to sandwich that lapel that we just created with the ashok to the front panel. Okay, so I arrange the front of my BUBU. I arrange my BUBU properly. I bring my lapel. All right, so the lapel has a joining at the center back. Okay, so that joining is where we are going to place, to the center back of the damask, the center back, the neckline. We notched it, so make sure that the joining is sitting on the notch that we have on the back neckline. Okay, so it is notch to joining. Okay, so that it is properly positioned, and then I'm going to go ahead to sandwich the damask into the ashok by first of all pinning it down before sewing. Okay, so I just put the damask into the ashok, and then I will pin down, and we continue like that. We get to the end of the BUBU, the length of the BUBU. I just keep sandwiching it like that. We get to the length, and when we get to the length, I am going to take it to my sewing machine and sew, and then we come back to this other side and do the same. Okay, sandwich it into the ashok, pin it down, take it to your sewing machine, and you sew. So when you are done sewing, we are almost done with this BUBU. Okay, when I'm done with the front, I'm going to come to the side and sew it down. So there is a pocket. I want to believe that you know how to fix a pocket, but if you do not, please drop your request on the page, on the channel. I will show you how to do that. I sew the side. I'm going to be folding the M neatly, and then I'm also going to be adding a belt on the inside of the BUBU for fitting. We have a detailed tutorial on how to create the belt on the inner parts of your BUBU. Okay, if that is what you want. So I'm going to fold the M and then impute my belt. Okay, so once we are done, this is what we have. Okay, it's not difficult. We have a lot of tutorial video on how to create these styles, okay, on the channel. Do well to watch. I'm also going to link their drop their link in the description. So I also went ahead to do the stoning, to stone, you know, the ashoke and the slave. All right, so if you found value in this video, do well to give a like, a share, a thumbs up, and we're going to see you guys in our next video, guys. Bye bye for now.